a show for the Monero community where all are welcome to join. From noob to maxi, no matter what bags you hold. Just sit back and relax to the sweet sounds of Monero's latest progress. Or if you're feeling inspired, join us on stage. Remember, the only thing that can stop Monero is a false belief that it can be stopped. And if you want to win the revolution faster, we recommend you remove your XMR from all custodial exchanges immediately. Warning, voting accidents are common around here. Don't forget to properly secure your private keys. Monerotopia starts now.
Alrighty. Tux, what's up, man?
All right. Good morning. Good morning. How's it going?
Good, good. It's afternoon over here. I'm in Sicily right now, which is fantastic. A beautiful place to be. My first time. Highly recommend it. Yeah, if there's any Monero folk in Sicily, hit me up. Send me a message on Twitter, I guess, DM me, or email me at monerotopia@protonmail.com if you're in the area, you want to meet up. I was actually thinking that could be a cool feature for XMR Bazaar. You know how we have the map feature?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and bring that up. Actually, yeah.
Do you want me to share it so your internet doesn't go out?
Yeah. Better if you share it. Yeah, I don't have a good internet, so if I go down, apologies. Tux will keep the show going. Yeah, I was thinking it would be cool if on the map feature, people could choose to basically announce their location if they want to. Not precise location.
Sounds like the mic is
maybe
clipping again.
Yeah. I think that might be the internet more than the hardware. I don't know. How's the sound now?
Oh, it sounds good.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it would be cool if people in their profiles, if they want, they could like toggle on or toggle off, toggle on basically their location. Not their exact location, let's say within 20 miles or something, whatever it is, their city. And so in addition to seeing the business listings, the local businesses that are accepting Monero, you would see fellow Monero users in an area that you can then DM, right? So I'm headed over to Sicily. I could toggle this on, and now my location would be on as in Sicily. I could see other people that are toggled on in that vicinity, and I could just, start a chat with them, DM them on XMR Bazaar. And who knows what could lead from that, right? So XMR Bazaar, all about bringing people together to get them to enter into commerce with Monero. I think that would be also another amazing feature. I mean, when I roll into a new town, one of the first things I think is, wouldn't it be great if I can meet up with a Monero person or just contact a Monero person, ask them, what's the best bar around here or whatever, or maybe they're willing to engage in commerce with me. Maybe they're looking to do a Monero for Euros trade, or wherever you may be. So I don't know. I think that would be a really cool feature. What do you think? What do you think?
Wow, that is pretty cool. Yeah. This map in general, the map feature is pretty cool. Being able to browse and seeing what's available in various locations. And I'm guessing this is like the central point of the Midwest U.S. is probably the default location based on how many.
I don't know what's going on there. Granted, things need to be worked on, but once we get it running a little more smoothly, would be cool. So right now, like the layers we have on the map are businesses and then listings. So you could toggle, nice. Turn those on, click those on and off. So I'm thinking if you added another layer, which would be, user location or local Monero user, whatever you want to call it. And so you could be able to see the local Monero users in your area, hit them up, DM them, like, hey, you know anybody that sells marijuana for Monero around here? Whatever it may be. get to know your local area quickly via a fellow Monero user, and I'm sure it would lead to entering into commerce with Monero, right? So yeah, just a thought. Wanted to get feedback on that. Maybe when we do viewers on stage, get some people's insights into that. Another thing I want to bring up as people roll in, guys, like and share. We got 28 live views. We're not doing our normal show time, so that maybe why we got a low view count right now. So if you can, please share it, like it. Let's get some people in here. We are going to attempt to demo XMRchat.com, yet another project we've been working on. Fiat Demise has been project managing that. He's done an amazing job. He's working with others that have been doing the development, but he's really been the momentum behind this project and doing a fantastic job. I haven't even really tried it out myself. I've seen it. I've seen the site. I've talked to him. We've talked back and forth as he's been making progress. So we'll be debuting that hopefully with our viewers on stage segment. We won't have Fiat Demise come on. We're going to have somebody else come on. Actually, one of the guys who's been working on the development, Saeed. He's supposed to be our special guest today. Hopefully, he'll be able to jump on. I think I think he's already on the backstage. All right, so yeah, he'll be joining us. So that should be interesting. But XMRChat is basically a way for people to send Monero-based Superchats. So it's a tool for live streamers. I will obviously be the first person using this tool, and you guys, as my viewers, will be the first people using this tool on the other end, and you'll be able to send me XMR-based super chats. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I do want to bring up Monerotopia. Tux, if you could pull up Monerotopia, Monerotopia.com. We need to get the word out on this. I feel like a lot of people don't even know. I don't know that it's happening, that are in the Monero community somehow. I don't know. I feel like hasn't been marketed well. I've been focused, as I'm sure you guys know, on a lot of other things. Been focused on XMR Bazaar, a lot of different projects, Monerotopia conference. We've been focused on the aspect of getting sponsors and speakers and actually coordinating the event behind the scenes with the vendors and the venue. There's a lot that goes into these conferences. And it really is just Saeed and I. Obviously, we have a lot of people that end up helping us out, but we're ultimately the ones that project manage this whole thing. And we've only now just started to buckle down on the marketing of it. We've had great response in terms of sponsors and speakers, but we've had horrible response in terms of actual ticket purchases. So if you're going to come to the conference, please go ahead and buy your ticket. Whether you're buying general admission or VIP, we will start to increase the price a little bit, really more so just as a punishment, so we get people to buy tickets. But please, we're putting in a ton of work. This thing will be bigger and better as long as we get more people to show up. I'm pretty confident we'll get more locals to show up. We're going to put a lot of effort into that. We're going to put marketing dollars into that locally so that people that are in the local tech community in Mexico City, I mean, Mexico City is tremendous. I don't know. I don't know how many people. It's like 10 million, 13 million people or something. It's a huge number. It's a megatropolis, right? It's huge. So if we could get the word out in some capacity, we'll have people coming by the conference. We have the price set very low for locals. I think we're saying $25. At the end of the day, if locals want to come, we'll charge them a nominal amount. If money's an issue. Additionally, they'll be able to just kind of walk in for free, given the setup of the conference. It's there's a public area where the marketplace is going to be. It's like in a literally like a public square. So there's no stopping the public from coming in, and we don't want to stop them from coming in. So people will naturally just kind of be coming into the conference. We'll have that element, and then hopefully they'll find their way into learning about Monero as they're there. But people that are flying in and whatnot, please buy your tickets. I'd like to see some momentum there. It just really helps us out. It takes some stress off of us when we see people committing to flying in for the conference. Like I said, sponsors were doing really well. Speakers were doing really well. The actual organization of the conference, we're doing really well. We have 2 marketplaces. It's one of the marketplaces was from last year, so they really understand what we're doing this year since they were with us last year. All of their vendors will be onboarded to Monero 100%. With their Cake wallet up and running, ready to accept Monero. Last year, it was more of a learning experience. We were literally onboarding them during the conference just because they didn't really understand what we were doing until we were in their face. We tried onboarding them beforehand, but they just didn't really get it. So we're this year, that's going to be different. Marketplace is going to be fully functional in terms of Monero. We're putting effort into making sure the infrastructure will be better. So there'll be more reliable internet, more reliable electric. We're going to get a generator. And so, yeah, from our side of things, conference is actually looking amazing. But we do need the community to chip in. And
you need more sponsors, it looks like.
We haven't put them all up.
I see.
But yeah, obviously we could always use more.
Just Cake wallet, that's right.
We have actually our potential second main stage sponsor might be Bitmain, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Oh, this is actually interesting. I actually ran into a Bitmain person at Bitcoin last week, and he said that they're actually working on another Monero miner. I don't remember any other details. He didn't give me too many details, but they're not like, he just likes Monero, like he works for Bitmain, but he likes Monero.
Very cool.
So yeah, it sounds like the Bitmain people, they do just like Monero.
Yeah, Monero, it's been interesting talking to them because they're saying how they're building these Monero miners, but we're like, how about RandomX? Are you aware of that? And they don't seem to really even know what we're talking about because I guess we're talking to the marketing people, the people that handle the conference side of things. So we're like, you sure you want to be a part of a Monero conference? I mean, we're kind of built.
Yeah, because they're kind of like, Monero people don't really like miners or Bitmain, but I think they seem to like Monero themselves. And I guess they don't realize that people don't want them to make miners. Although, they have a customer base that would buy their Monero miners for sure. The average community member probably does not want them to try and make miners, but I mean, they can only get so far with it because of how ASIC resistant RandomX is, right? So,
it will just be a computer in a box, right? Perhaps I guess the more, the most efficient CPUs that you could get for mining at that time, but it's not going to be an ASIC as far as we know, right? I mean, unless they're onto something bigger that we're not aware of.
No, it's not.
So they want to be they're talking about being the main stage sponsor. Although we were talking to them last year, this happened at the last Monerotopia too, and then they just kind of like flaked out. But this time we've gone further in the process with them. So that might actually happen, which would be great. I'm all for it. I mean, if they want to come and take a main stage sponsorship, that's a tremendous help to the conference. And thus tremendous help to the Monero community. I mean, that's how we keep these ticket prices so low, guys. And basically, we're saying it's free for locals. The only way we make that happen is by way of the sponsorships. There's a lot of expenses that go along with this.
Yeah, there's no $21,000 whale ticket, guys.
Yeah. So you could just imagine. I mean, we do this thing on a shoestring budget. And ultimately, like, listen, if you want to come to the conference and you can't afford a ticket, we'll let you come in, right? We're asking you to pay these amounts to help support the conference. But really, our priority is getting as many people as we can there to participate in the conference, enjoy the content live, and most importantly, being able to engage with other digital cash users, right? Other people that are as passionate about this as we all are. That's the most important element. So we don't want to create any barrier to entry for people that are passionate about Monero or some other version of digital cash. We don't want any barriers there for people that are passionate about these things, that want to come. So please do your part, buy a ticket, and even more importantly, spread the word, guys. The Monero community, like, I get it, we're all privacy advocates, but we're not going to grow this thing if we don't get the word out beyond our little bubble. So that only happens if all of us help spread the word. So on Twitter, share the conference, get it out there, click, say something about it, start talking about it, share it on Reddit, share it on, I don't know, share it on the dark web for all I care, right? Actually, it's probably a great place to share Monerotopia. Get the word out in all corners of the internet. If you guys help us get the word out, it will go exponential, right? If 100 of us, 1,000 of us are, doing their part to get the word out, it will grow a lot larger. I do have a special speaker announcement. I mean, we haven't completely closed the deal, but I'm told that Cody Wilson wants to come speak at the conference. I don't know, Tux, are you familiar with Cody Wilson?
No, I'm not actually.
Really? Okay. So he's like the guy that started the whole 3D gun printing thing. He's also an old school crypto guy. He worked with Amir Taki back in the day to build, at the time, I think they called it Dark Wallet. Are you familiar with Dark Wallet?
Yeah, I have heard of Dark Wallet.
Yeah, so that was kind of like the first attempt at making a privacy tech for Bitcoin. So he's an old school Bitcoiner, crypto anarchist. I mean, the guy is very passionate and principled. He completely understands the purpose of cryptocurrency in the way that we all understand it here in Monero. I haven't really heard him talking about Monero, but obviously I'm sure he is a Monero supporter. So that's kind of a big deal if Cody Wilson comes out. I haven't even really heard him talk at all recently. He's been off the radar quite a bit. He's had some legal issues. So super exciting that he's choosing Monerotopia as a venue, as a conference that he's willing to associate himself with and come out and talk. That means a lot.
That's pretty great.
Anybody know Cody Wilson in the chat? Just throw something up if you do. But yeah, that's really cool. So he's obviously close with Amir Taki. Amir is attending. He'll be representing DarkFi. Rachel Rose will be attending as well from DarkFi. And so when I was at MoneroCon, I was talking to Amir, and he was saying, "Oh, you got to get some." He was naming some people that I should try to get there, and Cody Wilson was one of them they named. I'm like, sounds great in theory. I'm like, I doubt Cody would want to come. And sure enough, he reached out to him, and he said that he would like to attend as a speaker. So we'll be listing him soon. We'll be listing some others. But yeah, email us at monerotopia@protonmail.com if you have any questions or would like to participate in the conference in any way. You want to come and you want to DJ, you want to come and sell something for Monero, we'll work it out. We'll make it work. You're having issues with, I don't know, coming down to the conference and you think we could help in some way, hit us up with any questions you may have. And like I said, do your part by, one, buying a ticket. If you're thinking of attending, buy the ticket now. That gives us momentum. And number two, perhaps just as important, spread the word, mouth to mouth, or whatever, person to person, mouth to ear. Spread the word. Use social media. It comes off a lot better coming from others and coming from us just trying to shill the conference on Twitter, right? Like, we'll get much more of a reach if the community does their part in getting the word out. So I just really wanted to drive that home because we're working on a lot of projects here, Sunita and I, and trying to juggle our fiat life and our family life. Even this show today, I was like really on the fence with doing it just because I'm on a family trip here. And you know, it's a lot, like to constantly have these things. Yeah, it's only a couple hours on the weekend, but balance that with working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I really only have like one day off where I'm with family at this point. And now we're on a fam trip, and I'm still like, I gotta do the show, which I love to do, as you guys all know. But I'm just asking the community to do their part and help us where they can help. And it's not a big ask. We're not asking for thousands of dollars. Just asking people who are already sitting on the internet all day, every day, rather than just spreading, you know, dumbass memes about whatever it is you're talking about. Spread the conference. You'll and it's not just you're not helping me out. You're helping Monero out. I think Tux will tell you Monerotopia is an amazing event. It's not a maxi shill fest. It's not a corporate event. It's very grassroots.
It's pretty stark, like the difference that it would be compared to Bitcoin last week. My goodness, Monero conferences like MoneroCon and Monerotopia, they're much more humble. You know, it's much more like community based versus a big one like Bitcoin, where it's just like it's so corporate. It's incredibly corporate. But the Monero ones they're much more like people actually care about technology. People actually care about community. It's a lot. It being smaller right now actually plays to its advantage. Obviously, you want a Monero conference to be as big as it can be, but it's much more homey. It's easier to connect with people and talk with people that actually care about a free currency, and not just about how many hashes your mining rig can do.
Exactly. Ian is saying share it on Dread. Exactly. Yeah, be creative. Get the word out. Get it out.
Yeah, whoever's got those Dread accounts,
corners,
man.
All corners of the internet.
Dark web forum accounts, guys.
Yeah,
we know some of you guys have some dark net forum accounts.
Go resell Monerotopia tickets on some dark markets. Go for it. All right. Yeah, that's enough shilling for today, but it is an important, really important message. Guys. Get your early bird tickets. We do sell out of the VIPs because we could only have so many people attend that portion because we do it at a restaurant. So that is going to be limited in space. And that's one of the most magical parts of the conference because you get to just kind of hang out shoulder to shoulder with all the speakers. And it's a really awesome, valuable part. So if you want to get the full experience, ticket because we will be cutting those off at some point. All right, man. Let's get the show moving. Let's get Bawdy up here. And I guess after price report, we'll get our special guest. We'll get Saeed up here and we'll demo XMRchat.com.
Awesome. All right, let's get into the price report.
Cool. Sweet.
And now for the Monerotopia price report segment.
Hey guys.
Yo, GM Bawdy.
Bawdy, what's going on, man?
GM. Bro, your future's so bright. Gotta wear shades. You say you're in Italy? Do I have that right?
I am. Yeah, I'm in Sicily right now.
Nice.
First time. It's beautiful. Have you ever been?
No, I've actually never been to Europe. I keep saying I need to go to Europe. You know, before it like totally collapses.
Obviously, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Europe is beautiful in many ways, right? But I think there's a lot of things about it that you'll probably be perturbed with.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got the whole surveillance infrastructure going on. And,
yeah,
but at least they're efficient, right?
Left wing ideology.
Yeah, maybe go to some protests.
I mean,
or something.
The you know what I enjoy most about Europe is the culture and kind of community and the food, right? Like their priorities, right? It's the priorities are family, you know, living and enjoying life and eating good food, right? They don't think of it as organic food, right? They're you know, a lot of them grow their own food and it's what they expect. And Unfortunately, I'm seeing even that kind of be affected here. I go to
Really,
Europe a lot.
that was supposed to be one of their big points, right? Is that they've got like just naturally good food. They have good water. They don't use all these crazy pesticides. They ban a lot of the practices that the U.S. engages in. But you're saying that's kind of that's on the like not really.
Well, I'll give you an example. So I'm in Sicily in kind of like a little town in like middle of freaking nowhere, right? And there's a big light. Have you ever heard of Lidl shop? Like, you know, Lidl?
No.
It's a big shopping market. It's kind of like it's a big chain, and it's here in the town. And it's just like I went in. It's like depressing. Like everybody like uses that, like relies on that now to get all their groceries and stuff. Obviously, still have the little markets. You still have, I mean, there's farms everywhere. But I could just kind of see the beginning of what the trend, right? And when you have these big corporate companies come in, it's like people start to rely on them. Next thing you know, they're buying, they're buying freaking chips and soda and some other other crap, or just crappy versions of what they're used to getting, just because it's cheaper and it's accessible. So I don't know. I see those the American ways kind of like starting to wreak havoc on Europe a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, Sicily's should be a stronghold though, because it's such like a farming culture. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, that's cool, man.
Every
I'm
corner.
glad you found some time for a little bit of family, a little bit of travel, pleasure.
Yeah. It's a big deal because we got the whole fam together. It's not just the immediate fam. We have it's kind of a big group of people, and
Mofo, you're Sicilian. I get it now. Okay, this is all coming together all of a sudden.
I'm Italian on my mother's side.
Cool.
All right, man. Yeah, take it away, buddy. Go for it.
All right. Well, yeah, we had there's a scare going on out there right now, guys. So don't panic. Don't be afraid.
Had a call from the underworld.
Who? What?
The Bogdanovs had a call from the underworld.
Oh shit!
What?
Wait, are they both? Did they both pass? I thought it was just the one.
They're both dead.
That probably only makes them more powerful, bro. Like that was intentional.
What is the scare, man? I've been completely off the radar here. What is the scare?
Well, stocks are down. Bitcoin is taking crypto in general has taken a bit of a pullback. It's not as severe. The crypto pullback is not as severe, but stocks are definitely down. And then all the stuff we talk about, we're going to really like cover a good bit of macro today. But all the macro stuff that we look at, like we're not unique here. No, man, like to sing out if you got questions, interrupt me at any point. Yeah, all the stuff that we look at here on the macro, like we're not singular here, right? Like we're not special. There's a bunch of other people looking at the same stuff because markets learn, right? That's what's happened. The markets have learned the macro signals that precede a recession. And so everyone's looking at these signals saying, wow, crap, it looks like we have something real that's coming up now. And it looks like all of the wheels are in motion now to push us that direction. But people tend to be impatient and they tend to overestimate on the timing, right? These kinds of things can take months to play out. So, yeah, we'll get to that. But there's a bit of a market scare going on right now. I think it's still we're kind of getting closer and closer to those short hairs at this moment. So I think things are still fine, but you run higher and higher risk the farther and farther you push it. So as always, let's go ahead and start with Monero and just get a quick look at our little stable coin here. Little stable coin, but with big use case, big potential. So we've also suffered some pullback with everyone else. This is the daily chart. You can see that we've basically dropped here about 15-16%. In my mind, I'd love to see a little bit more of this because I've been spending a shitload of Monero and I need to top up my bags. So maybe I shouldn't get greedy and I should just do it now since we're actually down from the top there by like 16%. In addition to, kind of the 16% we're already down. Yeah, UTXO says, he who panics first panics best. Yeah, that's actually a good callback to Margin Call where it's Kevin Spacey is like, we can't do this. We're going to crush the market. And then Jeremy Irons is like, he says, it's not panicking if you're the first one out the door. But also if you're the first one out the door and the party's still going on, you might have lost some opportunity there. Okay, but anyways, with Monero, yeah, I honestly, just for my own personal benefit, I would like to see this thing crash, dump hard down to the $130 area, because I would love to refill some bags down there. But Monero will do what it do. Right now, currently sitting at the very long-term moving averages there. One thing we could celebrate just a little bit is that Monero is doing quite well relative to Ethereum lately. That's the 2-hour chart. I say quite well. This is really we're still in recovery mode from the crazy nonsense. Finally touching those areas right there. This is actually showing a little bit of strength. Obviously, if the crypto market just decides to take off, then this chart's going to go down to the bottom there. But for the moment, I still think that crypto needs consolidation, as we talked about a few weeks ago. Things really need to consolidate for a while. It could be a few months. Anyway, so I think we could actually get into this zone right here, which would be cool, right? Right now, technically speaking, you would call that resistance. It kind of looks like it is resistance. Okay, whatever. Who's trading XMR versus Ethereum? I don't know, but I do know that a lot of us dabble in stablecoins, so I know that some of us do go back and forth between Ethereum and Monero. So, okay, Monero versus Bitcoin. Let's see, we are on the 8-hour chart here. Yeah, 8-hour chart. So basically not much has happened. We kind of broke down like we talked about. We've actually been holding on pretty strong relative to Bitcoin for the past week or so. Almost even tried to get back up into the blue bands here. In fact, in a technical standpoint, getting into these blue bands is actually quite the sign of strength. You would normally expect this chart pattern to either continue down to the moving average cluster or the lower standard deviation cluster. But maybe the worst of the roughness is behind us. Who knows what kinds of nonsense they have, up their sleeve. Maybe the EU just finally goes full tyranny and just totally bans Monero from all exchanges, and we get another, pullback. I have no doubt that there is some trick that the nefarious bastards have up their sleeve to try and hit our price at the moments that it might otherwise be breaking out. So again, kind of mixing up here the technical analysis with sort of the fundamental and obviously the deep conspiracy speculation. But yeah, that's kind of what Monero price looks like to me at the moment. In a technical standpoint, I would expect us to continue pulling back just a little bit. It seems like the price kind of wants to go down just a little bit more. Again, highly speculative. Right now, it's basically kind of a double bottom, like a local double bottom pattern. We'll have to see what the next few days bring, right? If this thing kind of drifts lower over the next few days, probably price is meant to get down here to the 140, 130 area. Yeah, so that for Monero price, that's what we're looking like. Transaction count still flat, sitting around 25,000. No big deal. XMR nodes still sitting around 12,000. Again, somehow this number dropped by like half. I guess they changed the way they do their algorithm. I don't think that half the Monero network was just like, oh, I'm fucking sick of running a node. Forget it. So probably they just changed something there. And I can't remember. I think it was Fluffy Pony posted on Twitter. Like there's another website that keeps track of this, and I think they're also estimating somewhere around like 10,000, 12,000 Monero nodes. So probably that's more the correct number. Obviously by consensus, we just go by consensus since that's such a powerful way of knowing what to believe. Obviously I'm being sarcastic there. Okay, so let's take a pause here on cryptocurrency. We're looking at Monero, and let's go take a look at the macro. We'll start with the stock market, which isn't exactly macro. It's risk tech. But I want to show you the reason we're going to look at the macro is because the stock market has just done 2 weeks of pullback to the tune of about 12%. Let's do one more check on that. 12%, 12.5%. Yeah, let's just say 12%. Okay, so the NASDAQ is down 12%. The S&P 500 dropped. It's only 7%. Still, though, all right, so there's a scare going on out there right now. We want to put this into context. We really want to understand what's coming, what's happening in front of us. So let's just start from like the very top level stuff. The FOMC, or the Federal Reserve, had an FOMC meeting this past week on Wednesday, and they said that they could lower rates as soon as next meeting. Now, next meeting would imply September 17th. So between now and then, we're going to get two CPI numbers, right? So we're going to get the CPI for August, and then they're going to release the CPI in September as well. So we'll get two CPI readings. If those numbers drift down even a little bit, there's a really solid chance the Fed's going to lower rates. So in the immediate term, that's going to be good for markets. On the news, on that Fed news, what you can see here is that, so we'll just look at the 10-year, right? So you can see the 10-year starting on Wednesday, on Thursday. The 10-year just started dropping, right? Because people are expecting that the Fed's going to lower rates. The other thing too is that the S&P 500 is the stock markets fell, and so you have to understand there's this inverse relationship between risk and bonds. Bonds are the safe asset. Bonds are the asset that you go to when you're afraid of risk. And then so when a bunch of people buy bonds, the actual rates of bonds drop, which causes the value of older bonds to increase. Okay. As rates drop, the value of older bonds gets higher. So the people holding bonds actually get more value on their money. So this is why you see this inverse relationship. When people are in risk assets and they're scared, they go to bonds. But when they feel safe and comfortable and they're in bonds, they go to risk. And then the bond rates rise when that happens. There's other feedback mechanisms that's definitely a bit of an oversimplification, but in the immediate term, that's the kind of thing that happens. So nevertheless, one of the things that we've been talking about since forever is that when we see bonds start to violently crash towards the downside, as the yield curve inversion starts to violently move up, that is a very, very short, like a near-term signal of an imminent crash. This is something everybody knows, so I worry about how much this gets front run. Yet at the same time, this is the kind of signal that takes a lot of time to play out. So I've talked about this before. So this is the 2020 crash, the pre-2020 crash, right? They raise the bond rates, markets go up. They start lowering bond rates, and then markets continue going up, and then everything crashes. Same thing happened in 2000. If we scroll back here a little bit, yeah, you get the market went up and up and up. 2005, 2006, right? Even flat top 2007. They start lowering rates, and it's still 2007. The market's still going up, right? But then at some point here, things really move violently, and then the markets crash post haste. So we're effectively looking at something like that right now. We're in that same pattern. It happened in 2001 as well. So nevertheless, we're still not there. Like in terms of how long it takes these patterns to play out, it's usually at least months, right? This like you can see on this chart, the bond market hasn't even crashed down to these levels here yet, right? We're still technically above those levels. And okay, there was some news of the Fed and they're going to lower rates. Probably, we're not sure. They're probably going to lower rates next meeting. And if not, they're going to definitely lower rates sometime this year, unless the inflation just goes crazy, which I don't think it is. The inflation's not going to go crazy. You know why? Because we're going to come over here and take a look at the civilian unemployment. And that's continuing towards the upside, right? 4.3 is still historically low, right? So this is not a problem, but this is called the SOM rule. And in fact, someone in the FOMC meeting asked about this. They said, hey, what about the SOM rule? The SOM rule says that once the unemployment has spiked beyond some certain threshold, recession is basically unavoidable. And we've hit that quote unquote SOM rule point, SAHM. So yeah, I mean, everyone's looking at the same stuff, guys. Everyone says, hey, my God, it's about to crash. The problem is that, people are impatient. People think short term. And so my guess right now, my best guess is that things are going to come back. This is just an ordinary pullback. In fact, if we go, let's go to the weekly now, and this is the NASDAQ. If we go to the weekly and we just say, okay, right, like we talked about, this was currently a 12% pullback, but what was the last pullback? That was 8%. Okay. On the way up. What about this pullback right here? That's 12%, right? We lost 12% there. Obviously, this is the March 2020 event, so that's minus 30%, but check this one out. That's minus 22% in the bull market. In fact, let's scroll all the way back here to post 2008, right? So there's the 2008 dire crash. And then we had a 17% pullback. And then we had 16% pullback, right? So, I mean, we could just keep doing this, right? 12%, another 12%. This is run of the mill, right, guys? There's 19%. This pullback that we have right here at the moment is a run of the mill pullback. And things are basically still trending along this major trend line that we would be looking at, right? Remember, we talked about 3 or 4 weeks ago. This trend line right here is the major trend line for the NASDAQ right now. So at the moment, this is just an ordinary pullback. This is nothing to go crazy about. And we are not at the fully mature moment of all of our tail risk signals. So my guess is that this thing's going to come back here. Maybe it won't, right? Maybe everyone's just front running, but let's go even a little bit broader now. They're promoting they're promoting Kamala, and if you want to do something interesting, you can look at what Kamala means in Finnish. That's a slightly funny thing. You can do that on your own time. But they're really promoting Kamala now, right? And now they're lying about the polls, how she's like beating Trump in all the polls now. No, she's not. Give me a freaking break. She's definitely not. But you know, they're getting the lie machine, the deception machine, all spun up again, right, to make this the most important election of our lifetimes. And so who knows, right? Maybe they're just going to push that stock market back up. There's probably a lot of juice to squeeze from people that are panicking right now. There's probably juice to squeeze from people that are looking at all these signs like, oh my God, the crash is coming, right? And like those guys are selling, those guys are panicking. They're going to push the market up and wreck those guys. That seems to be, that's kind of the intuitive thing that I would think would be done here. So yeah, that's the macro, guys. That's kind of the backdrop. We could take a look. The reverse repos are flat still. The Dixie is basically flat. It is very interesting to me that the Dixie crashed here. The Dixie's gone down this week, even as the stock market has also gone down. So that's quite interesting. Gold didn't quite respond to that Dixie crash either. So yeah, very slightly abnormal, but probably with the US 10-year dropping, that I bet you that there's some kind of signal there. I bet if we dumped it into an AI, it would be able to make better sense of that pattern. Okay, so the last couple macro things we'll touch on here is so the M2 money supply has actually been rising, believe it or not. That the last data that we have is for the end of the month of June, right? For the June close. And so that's a lagging data point, so just know that. But if we take a look at stocks here, you'll notice that the end of June was right here. Oh, wow. Okay. At the very top of the market, right? So that's the end of June right there at the top. So the M2 money supply was increasing all the way through June, which kind of makes sense. Stocks are going up. You can use the stock valuations as to pledge them for loans from banks. Like it really is this fucking Ponzi scheme, guys. Like the way that they do this, like you get paid in stock options or whatever, you can use those, take those to, if you're a CEO or whatever, or a company, you know, you can take your stock price or you can back a loan with your own stock. And as the stocks go up, and the stocks go up because they printed more money because you backed them with loans. So the banks are like, here's a loan, which they printed from nothing. And then the stocks go up, right? In aggregate, this is kind of the action that happens. So that can only go so far. It can always only go so far. It's the nature of the system. Okay, I think you guys already basically know all that. Okay, so I think, let me check my notes here. Yeah, okay, so I think that's pretty good. That we basically covered the macro here. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is nice. Gold is doing actually pretty well. It's just hanging out here near its all-time highs. It's, you know, these rising wedges are, you know, they're like the positive side of boring in the sense they're like, okay, we're slowly going up, but you're like, when am I going to get my mad gains? Well, it might not happen just quite yet, but yeah, gold is still just basically trending in this big this wedge that we talked about, this rising wedge pattern. So yeah, in a bullish environment, this usually breaks to the upside. Hopefully that's what we see happen. I think, you know, there's still a ways to go there before gold really exhausts this particular run, especially if we think that stocks still have the potential to go up. But yeah, I mean, there's a tail risk event coming, guys, and it's looming on the horizon now, and everyone actually sees it on the horizon. So it's like, it's more than just speculation at this point. It's more than just like, okay, be careful. You know, in the past we've been like, hey, we're watching these things. Eventually, right, we're entering into that series of snowball where it's like, okay, the events are set in motion now. Things look like they're going that direction. Maybe we haven't had the last tiny confirmation, but it's starting to get close to that foregone conclusion that a big tail risk event is in the cards in the next, let's just say, 9 to 12 months or something. Okay, yeah, so that's the macro. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse there anymore. Let me just check and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, I guess that's all fine. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the privacy coins here. Xano, we talked about a little bit. This is to be expected to be resistance, most likely. It so far has kind of turned out to be that way. Cool. Firo, I don't know. I guess Firo is too much of an experimental coin. I don't really know what they're up to lately, but I never hear anyone like using Firo for privacy needs. So I don't know. This is not a good chart, if you ask me. Like, I don't like the way this chart feels. I don't know. Maybe we got to go talk to those guys and see what the latest is. Right now, yeah, oh God, that's terrible. This is on the negative side of their lower standard deviation, and everything's curling down. So at this moment, this kind of pattern typically likes to do this kind of like thing. So yeah, Firo might not be your best hold, your best speculation right now. Oh, Darrow, yeah, we've talked about Darrow a few times here, right? Where we're saying, hey, this area right here might actually be your spot to make some kind of swing trade. I know there's still Darrow people out there. They've gone terribly silent. You know, I hope they didn't get too wrecked or whatever. But you know, guys, you gotta do your research, and you gotta understand that they were not using best practices. These signs were very clear. So yeah, don't be staking your net worth on some small coin with bad practices. Pirate Chain, also speaking of small coins with bad practices, Pirate Chain is just kind of chilling out here, I guess. I don't like the way this chart feels either. Honestly, this chart feels like it was meant to, especially if the crypto market were to take any kind of big downturn. This chart feels like it's destined. I shouldn't say destined, but it feels like this would be a natural attraction point for the Darrow chart. In fact, if it hits there, or not Darrow, sorry, Pirate. If R makes a big drop down there, I'll probably actually myself scoop some up, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not a huge R fan, but I am a degenerate gambler. So, but you know, when the opportunity is right, it's right. That would be minus 60% though. So that is quite a ways down. My guess is that we'll see some pretty big movement in like once things get bullish, right? Once they do the liquidity expansion and everyone knows we're in like the next bull market and things are breaking the all-time highs, and okay, that's the time to like buy these coins, especially. So okay, here's another way to think about this. The OG shit coins, we're talking stuff like ADA. I don't want to mention that. You know what? Maybe I won't mention any particular coins. The OG shit coins that came out pre 2017, right? Those coins are, I wouldn't expect too much from them. Yeah, they're probably going to finally break their previous all-time highs, like Litecoin, for example. I wouldn't expect them to perform that much. They are old news. You want like the coins that came out last cycle that had a big run. Those are the coins that are most likely, like they're your best risk to reward balance. The highest performers are still going to be your absolute newest shit coins, like the absolute newest stuff. Those are going to be your highest performers. You just don't know which ones, right? Because so many of them are scams. So you can't, it's hard to know which ones exactly. But the ones that you know are very likely to do well are going to be the ones that were released like 2018, 2019, right? 2020. That kind of era where we saw which ones of the ones performed well last time. Everyone's going to want to in on that action again. Now, they're not going to perform as well as they did back in 2021, but they're going to perform. Never mind, that's your best risk to reward. So those are the coins I'd be looking at. Unfortunately, you know, it's the Monero show. I'm not going to give you any particular shit coins to be looking at here, but there's a few of them that are pretty freaking obvious meme coin type chains. So make of that what you will. You know, again, be careful. Like, we're not quite there. The situation hasn't matured yet. We can't get massive liquidity expansion until we get the tail risk event. So that tail risk event is basically your opportunity to buy. So looking here at the Bitcoin chart, yeah, we've let's go actually to the weekly. Okay. Oh, weekly's that's too much. Okay, here we go. So our little run up to the bull market, right? This line right here, that's our big overall trend line. That's our headliner. Maybe we should even put that into two pixel size line. Yeah, I mean, we're oscillating around this line now. Like we said, we should expect this thing to take some time to consolidate. Personally, I think that pullbacks are your opportunity to get into Bitcoin. You just don't know when this thing could break out, right? That's how this chart performs. Like overall, it's like it goes up in these massive bumps, and then it just consolidates and bleeds, and then it pumps, it both fake out and then bleed, and then it pumps again, and then it massively pumps. Like, okay, so these bleed out times are typically, on balance of probabilities, your opportunity to get in. So right now we're on a pullback. Who knows how far this thing can go? Notice that again, this is a broadening structure, right? Some call it a bullhorn pattern. So we've got the resistance line up there. If I can say my S's so I can get that success. We got this broadening structure here. So it could very well be possible that this chart actually goes down to the bottom here before coming to the top side. That's within the range of like what the technical pattern is setting there. So I wouldn't even probably wait for this absolute bottom, honestly. Like if we get a tail risk event and it comes sooner rather than later, and we get like a liquidity destruction, demand destroying, whatever. Okay, this chart's going down. This chart would end up going down to the regression analysis. And in fact, that's on a tail risk event. That's exactly what I want to see. That is exactly where I want to see this chart go down to. Let's pull up the regression analysis here really quick. Oh, it always does that. There we go. Okay. So at the moment, the green line is your buy line, right? That's your like sell everything and buy Bitcoin. Really more like sell everything and buy crypto, not Bitcoin. And right now, this line, this green line, as of today, would be sitting at 28,000, at 27,000. So, I mean, that's pretty good, guys. Like, remember, this line used to be sitting at like 14,000 down here. Now we're at 28,000. This thing rises, and it rises fast, especially if you're patient. So, yeah, right now, in the short term, I would say that this is a buying opportunity. It's just a regular buying opportunity. Don't go heavy leverage on it, but there's a good chance things go here and then bounce back up. Maybe it doesn't have to go all the way down, right? It could just kind of stop here and then move back up. Whatever, who knows? I don't have any big opinions on the exact way this chart plays out. But the point is that this is a buy zone and that this is a leverage zone. Like if we touch this line, guys, I am going leverage long on Bitcoin. I'm taking a long-term, like probably not that much leverage, but I might even stagger actually. I would I would hypothetically put a large amount on like 2x leverage, and then I would stagger up on like a slightly smaller amount on 5x, and then a small amount on like 10x leverage or 20x leverage. You have to realize 20x leverage, a 5% move wipes you out. So if you get 5% below this line, you're done. So that's why you don't put your whole stack on 10x leverage. Even though you're like, the problem with leverage is that you can be basically right and then still get wiped out. That's just how that works. So, but yeah, I mean, we touch this green line, guys. I'm going leverage long. It's really that simple. So that's just like slap you in the face, easy money. And unless the world just like goes to World War III or something, right? Okay, in which case you've got bigger problems.
It is a probability.
So, yeah, you know, unfortunately, that does look like stupid things are happening out there, and it's kind of pissing me off. Yeah, we've got the Iran-Israel thing going on, where Israel, like, within like 1 minute, just drone killed like 5 leaders of Iran, just just took them out, and then Iran's like, we vow revenge. So now I don't know, they're going to go to war, some shit. And then they're like faking the numbers for Kamala, so maybe they actually do want to steal the election again. in which case, that's a possible civil war trigger. And it's like, fuck, maybe I will go to Argentina after all. Let's see. Yeah, okay, other than that, you know, everything else is what Bitcoin did. Everything else did the same thing. We're basically just in a big pullback. I'm not too worried about it at the moment. Again, I think this is buying opportunity. Maybe the buying opportunity isn't like perfect, hasn't crystallized in the short term to perfection. But there's some good opportunity here, I think, coming up to make some purchases. So
even the orange man wasn't able to pump Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're out there, man. They're trying. Let's see. Check 2-year minus 10-year treasury. So Planto, do we have time for some questions, or do you guys want to get the show rolling? I don't want to take up too much time here.
Looks like one question, which is check 2-year to 10-year treasury.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna cover there. I'm so bad, like I just get into the flow and then I forget to look at everyone's questions. Okay, so
yeah, keep going.
So so Planto, what we have here, this is like my big picture bond chart. So the 2 red lines here reflect taking all of the different bonds, right? So we've got, let's expand this on the left here. We have the 3-month, the 6-month, the 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, and 30 year. So we could look at the 2 minus the 10. We could look at the 5 minus the 1. What this script does here on the bottom is it takes every single one of these and subtracts it from every single other one of these. So we know what the aggregate picture looks like of the yield curve inversion, right? And then we just average that all together. So these lines tell us how overall inverted the yield curve is. Because like if you think of how many combinations there are, what that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be like 8 factorial or something, like some crazy amount of combinations. So we really couldn't look at all of them, but since you asked, we could definitely do that. So you said US 10-year minus the US 2-year. Oh, that's 0-2-year. Yeah, so this thing is definitely correcting back. It's still not at the 0 point yet, right? It's still technically inverted. Let's go to the weekly, actually, make that a little bit easier. Look at the history. Yeah, so this chart goes all the way back to 2013. It has been dropping to being ever more inverted. It has been the most inverted that it ever was here for the year of 2023. It's still not quite at the 0 point, so technically it's still inverted. Let's see. What are the questions we got here? No. Okay, yeah. I guess that's about it. I wasn't sure if there's anything in particular that you wanted to see, Planto, on that chart, but Yeah, that's the wave magic. That doesn't work out well. But yeah, I think that's about all I got for you guys today. So I'll hand it back over to. Oh, one thing I just want to shill just a little bit. I'm gonna have a debate with. I don't know if you guys, any of you on Twitter, probably have seen Super Testnet has been trash talking Monero's privacy and up talking Lightning Network privacy, which of course is silly. So we're gonna have a debate today at 2 p.m. If you guys want to tune into that Twitter Spaces, welcome to show up. Oh, I say 2 p.m. That's 2 p.m. Mexico time. I guess that would actually be like 4 p.m. Would that be 4 p.m.?
Who you debating, Bawdy?
His name is Super Testnet. So he's kind of like, he's one of the more technically proficient plebs. I'm not too sure. I'm told that by friends. He's like friends of friends. So we're actually going to be live together in the same place. So it'll be a cool conversation.
Oh, awesome. What's the topic? What are you guys talking
We're
about?
basically debating Lightning Network versus Monero privacy. He claims that Lightning Network is private. I think that's silly. He thinks that I think Monero is private, and he thinks that's silly. So he's been kind of trolling on Twitter, and people have been going back and forth. And then we went to kind of the same event, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" It's kind of a small event, so I was like, "Hey, you're just like trolling, right?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "You're not serious, are you?" He's like, "No, I'm serious." I'm like, "Oh, well, okay. So why don't we like have a spaces and hash this out?" So that's 2 p.m. Mexico time, which is like. Or go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe you get him to come to Monero to present Bitcoin Lightning privacy tech if he's got the chops.
You know, maybe I'll pitch that to him. Maybe he is interested.
All right.
Speaker spot.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
We're more than happy to have a page and tell everybody how Lightning is more private than Monero, and then let conversation.
That's a very, very funny statement.
A riotous laugh will be had by all. And then, I wanted to also say thanks for the reminder on. I need to personally do my part to shill the conference on my own Twitter. I don't shill it nearly enough, so I'm gonna make a concerted effort to do more of that.
Alrighty. All right, man.
So
awesome.
Yeah, guys. After today's show, feel free to tune in to Twitter Spaces. And, if you guys got any good technical arguments to bring, we'll probably spend 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour debating. And then, as usual, we'll open up the floor. So, all right, with that, guys, I'll hand it back to Tux and Doug. Thank you, sirs.
Thanks, Bawdy.
Cool. Yeah, guys. Yeah, Bawdy Spaces right after Monerotopia. Very cool.
Sounds like your mic is making some noise again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I don't know. I didn't. Well, I disconnected and reconnected. Maybe I fucked shit up. How about now?
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's just I would try moving it as far as you can away from the.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right. With that being said,
right
I guess we'll go ahead and jump into the guest segment.
Yeah. I'm drinking some fantastic local red wine.
Very nice.
And eating,
of course,
some homemade pasta.
Like a real Italian man.
It's good, man. It's good living here. It really is. It's actually pretty wild. So I don't know if you've heard of Mount Etna in Sicily. So it's the most active volcano in all of Europe, and we saw it from where we're staying. We saw the volcano like erupting the last 2 nights. Like literally visually see lava being spit out of the top of the volcano. I've never seen that.
That's crazy.
I was in Guatemala and we woke up one day. I think we had spoken about it on the show because there's where we had we were getting the coffee from last time. There was 2 volcanoes at the coffee farm, and one morning we woke up and we saw like out of it, and apparently there was an eruption over the night and they had to close down the airport. But here I actually visually saw with my own eyes lava bursting out of a volcano. It was incredible. I might post one of the pictures on Twitter.
That's cool and terrifying.
It is cool. I woke up in the morning and there's ash all over on the cars, on the ground. It's just like black. It's almost like black sand is on everything. So it rained volcano ash, which is very, very good for the tomatoes and the wine. All right. Let's.
I will say, you wanna, before switching to guest segment, you wanna try and switch to the other headphones. I think these ones they sound like they're dying.
You know what I think it is, man? I think it's the internet. I don't think it's
You think it's
the
the internet?
headphones.
I don't know,
Yeah,
because it does sound like a
showing
hardware
super-
thing.
It's telling me connection is unstable.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make the sound. It wouldn't cause the sounds that I'm hearing coming from the headphones or from the microphone that you have.
All right, hold on a sec. Let me see if I could. I don't have the other head. Oh, no, wait. Here we go. I really do think it's the internet, but let me see. People are saying sound is okay. Okay. Tux, I think I'm just gonna leave these. I think it's just the internet. How's it right now?
No, it's definitely not.
Oh, it's bad.
Other people are saying it's bad too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, I really think it's the freaking internet. Hold on. Is it any better? Hello.
Yep, I hear you.
That's better?
Yeah, it should be fine. I mean, we'll find out in a minute.
Okay.
Yep. All right,
right.
cool. I'll go ahead and run the guest segment.
Let's do it.
The Monerotopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
All right.
Hey there.
Saeed.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey, everyone.
How
Great.
are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. First things first, sorry, like my English is not my first language, so if I like say like grammatically or any word incorrectly, so first thing first, sorry about that. I hope my voice is fine. Is it? Like you can hear it clearly?
Oh, you sound great.
Great.
I think you're more clear than I am. So and
Great.
your English is great, man. You're coming in
Yeah,
loud
thank
and
you.
clear. Fantastic. So yeah, you want to quickly intro yourself? Obviously, don't divulge any information you wouldn't want to divulge publicly, but let us tell the audience whatever it is you're willing to divulge.
Sure. So the project is mainly, as you mentioned before in the start of the stream, it's mainly led by Fiat Demise. I'm just a contributor and a dev, but mainly they are the ones who are just basically running it. And a special thanks to Radan and VTNord for actually helped us building the project. I'm not sure like the project is basically built a bit differently from the ones that's out there. So like it wouldn't be possible without their help. So I just wanted to give them a shout out as well. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah, do you want to describe a little bit how it is built? And then maybe as you're doing that, I'll start to bring it up on screen over here.
The main difference would be like, I would say like most, I'm not saying all because I don't know all of the projects out there, but I would say most of them, like if you basically need an event for knowing if some tip has happened or like if some payment has been paid, you basically get to use the RPC of Monero. But the design of that is basically in a way that it supports just single wallet. So it's not basically designed to support multiple wallets. However, there's the package called LWS, Monero LWS by VT Nerd. It's basically makes it easier so that it gives you the server, it gives you the environment, so you can listen to multiple addresses, multiple wallets at the same time. So that actually made our life way much easier rather than that just facing the issue, just switching the wallets between multiple streamers, and that's basically the case. That we basically wanted to handle multiple streamers at the same time, not just one at a time. So yeah, and it's actually even easier to use and way much more intuitive.
Okay, yeah, very cool. Yeah, so obviously, given the nature of what we're trying to do here, you need to be able to handle multiple streamers at once, and you need the transactions to feel relatively instant. So
exactly
their transaction
right now,
with the comment.
Right now, there is no confirmation needed, in any of the requests. Basically, there are two main ones here. One is for creating the page, which is just a small amount just to prevent spamming. And the other one is basically the main thing, which is a tipping this streamer. And it's actually being directly sent to the streamer wallet. There's nothing in the middle, we generate address from the primary address that they provide us. So there's nothing in the middle. It's basically directly to their address with some payment ID, so we can detect who made the payment, basically. And it's actually instant. So as soon as this transaction is on the chain, it actually shows up. It doesn't wait for any confirmations. That makes it even much more faster.
And it's the light wallet server that's allowing us to do that, correct?
Yeah, exactly. LWS, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I've been a part of this project from the beginning. Fiat Demise reached out to me. I had been talking about trying to build a super chat thing, and I don't even remember how it initially kicked off. Fiat Demise got excited about this, and he had reached out to me. And so it's been a while now. We started talking about it. I asked if he'd be interested in project managing it, because I didn't really have the time. We kind of came to an agreement on that, and what our different roles would be. So I haven't played any role in terms of the project management or the tech. I was there in the beginning to kind of help give my ideas on how I should see it, how I would want it to function. But Fiat Demise really ran with it, and he's done a fantastic job project managing this and carrying it across the finish line with the help of the devs like Saeed and who you said Radan, right? Also,
yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, actually, I actually had my own small team, but basically the ones that wanted their name out here was basically Radan, so that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been supplying some funds to Fiat as needed, and Fiat's been supplying funds as well. So to get to pay the devs to help us build this, but it was really Fiat Demise that project managed us, and then with the help of these devs behind the scenes that built everything, which is awesome. For those who don't know who Radan is, I don't know if it's Radan or Radan. He is also the guy behind Kuno. So Kuno was built by Anarchio, and Radan took that over, and he's the one that's running Kuno. And yeah, so that's kind of what's been happening. And so I haven't really, to be honest, checked in much. Fiat Demise is telling me it's going well, but I haven't tested it out until moments before this show. I tried getting it up and running. So it's new for me too. So this is very exciting. Now, if I'm correct, I'm told that you guys figured out how to essentially get it to the point where comments can display live on the stream itself using Twitch, the Twitch integration into StreamYard. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Well, basically, like a few hours before the show, the last test was basically just popped something wrong. But basically, how it is supposed to work, we choose Twitch to basically log the messages that are being sent in XMRChat. And the reason was we chose Twitch because it was basically somehow easier to manage, and the API was much more simple than YouTube or any other platforms, and it was more widely used. So we chose Twitch, and basically there was a bot in there. Basically, it's called XMR_chat. So that's the handle for the XMRChat bot. So how it's supposed to work is that once a tip is made, and by the way, the streamer is supposed to save their basically somehow connected to XMRChat. How we do is basically asking them for the URL of their Twitch account. So any tip made, the bot automatically is supposed to send it in the Twitch live chat. And so basically we can actually extend it to much more, we can extend it to more platforms, but for the start, we started with Twitch to handle the live messages on streaming platforms.
Okay, so maybe you could, obviously we're going to want to try to see that today if we get that working and showing. So let's
Sure.
just back up for a second. So I'm on XMRchat.com right now. So this is obviously what you would see when you show up as a new user, somebody who is looking to create their own XMRchat.com page, right? So you're a streamer,
Exactly.
You want to create your own page, you'd go to XMRchat.com. And so we have a simple FAQ here that's first explaining like why are we even using Monero for these purposes. And anybody listening to the show probably knows, right? So the reason we're using Monero because it's kind of the perfect crypto to use for these purposes, especially given that we were able to use LWS. So by using Monero, the streamers via XMRchat will be able to instantly receive anonymous digital cash tips that come in with a comment attached to it. And it's going to pretty much be instantaneous. It's going to be anonymous. And yeah, censorship resistant, all that great stuff, right? So, and no fees, right? Just the fee of the Monero network itself.
Exactly.
So
Right
not
now,
like some of
there
the,
is no
not,
fee. Yeah.
Right. Right now, we're trying to work on what a potential revenue scheme might be, but as of now, yeah, no fee, right? And I imagine it is essentially going to stay that way in terms of the tips themselves. But we're working on we're trying to come up with some kind of revenue model that would allow us to continue to support this and hopefully grow it and have some income coming in, right? So this is, these can't just be charity cases, right? We need these tools to be self-sufficient, right? They need to be earning money, but this thing is always going to be way more competitive than any alternative, right? So you as a streamer, you're getting your digital cash tips directly sent to you with no fee, just the fee of the network itself. There's no bank in the middle or corporation in the middle taking 20% of your tip income. You're receiving it all. So you could read about that here in the FAQ. Some really simple things. Why tip with XMRchat? Why does XMRchat use Monero? Like I said, and then just a quick little explanation of where to get Monero for those who've never even used Monero for the first time. We want to use XMRchat as a tool that helps grow Monero usage. We're hoping that this thing has so much utility that those who don't even yet know about Monero would go out of their way to learn about Monero for purposes of XMRchat, right? So if you're some streamer and you have, you're making thousands of dollars a month in tips already with super chats, you might want to move over to XMRchat or at least add XMRchat as an additional means of receiving tips. Like, why not? So you get tips, digital cash without losing any fees. So now I'm going to kind of like take us through the process. So let's say you're coming here for the first time, you're a streamer, you're going to go to create starters here. I already created, but I'm going to do sign up instead. So we're starting from scratch. Actually, I will do. Obviously, nobody will be able to. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so hopefully this works. I'm going to sign up, create an account. I already created an account for Monerotopia. Now I'm going to create one for Monerotopia. So this will be for my Monerotopia streams. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I entered a password, an email, and I entered my password twice. Now I'm going to go to log in. Okay,
Actually,
so
right
saying
now
I need to
you're supposed to confirm your email, because we
confirm.
just don't want the spams.
Yep. So hopefully I can bring that up without revealing too much. Let's see. Oh, shoot.
I have it.
You have that? All right. So I'm going to actually have Sunita in the background click and confirm the email. Guys, you did it? All right. So the confirm email went through. We clicked confirm. So now let's see if I... All right. So Sunita says she clicked on it and says account has been successfully activated.
Okay.
So now
right now you're supposed to be able to log in. Yeah.
Oh, wait. But now it logged in under... Did it just log in under my Monerotopia account? I don't know what I just did here. Now I'm logged in under... Hold on a sec. Let me... Did you see what just happened there? Wait, hold on.
Actually, your screen is frozen on login page. I can't really say anything, but you're supposed to log out, then just try logging in.
Oh, I see. Hold on, because I have two up at once. Hold on.
Okay. We can only see one.
Oh my God. All right. Hold on. Okay. So let's see. Now I'm hitting login. Okay, logged in. It says I don't have a page yet because I didn't create one. So now I'm going to go to create new page. So I'm creating my streamers page. So it's just going to ask for some real simple information. It's asking for a logo. Let's see if I can do this now. I don't know. This might be a bad idea trying to do this on the spot, but hold on. Sunita, where's the files for the... Hold on a sec. Let's see if I could pull up. Where's all the...
What are you trying to get?
You're live.
All right.
All right, guys. Hold on. We got Sunita helping us out here. I'm just going to try to pull up the logo.
It's annoying. Podcast.
Hold on a sec. Can you guys see my file manager right now? No, right?
No, it's just your this streamer
create
page.
Okay.
Can you drag it?
No.
I think I just made one myself.
Yeah, I have one already made. I just kind of want to take people through the process, but...
I see.
Hold on.
There's this one. I don't know where the other one is.
But you can't find where it was before?
No, because for some reason I don't know where it's not popping up.
All right, so I guess you guys could see. So you would upload a logo. You'd upload a banner image. You would enter an ID. So mine will be Monerotopia, which is available. You would enter your Monero primary receive address. So I recommend that you create a new wallet for this. So create it, if you're going to create this account, create a completely new, fresh wallet, whatever it is, on your Cake wallet, on your Feather wallet, on the Monero client. Create a fresh wallet for this purpose. So this is where you'd put your primary receive address. And then we're also asking you to put in your Monero secret view key. So anybody who uses Monero a little bit knows that Monero has various keys. By entering your Monero secret view key here, it's going to allow the system to basically use LWS to scan for Monero transactions in the background that your wallet is receiving. So that is maybe the only little like difficult hurdle for somebody who's not super familiar with Monero. They're going to have to kind of get over that hump and understand that you're entering a receive address, which is very simple and obvious. Everybody knows the concept of receive addresses, but then you'll have to also go and find your Monero secret view key. Also relatively simple. And we have there is a way. I'm not seeing it here right now, right? But I think there was like a little info section on this, right, Saeed? That gives people...
actually, like it's basically like it gives its place to the error. I think if you type something in, it will come back. Basically, if you just type anything, like
okay.
Oh, okay. You actually have to get it. Actually, we put a help thing there as like for them to be able to know how to get their secret key.
Oh, here. This is the key for my
Exactly.
other one, right? So it popped in, so you can see it. So now it says we need a secret view key to be able to view incoming trend. Where to find your view key? So if you go here,
it takes you to a guide page so that you can take the secret key from your wallet or anything like that.
Right, which is fantastic. Okay, so is my screen still live right now? It is, right?
It is, yeah. But we didn't see the page because it's only streaming this tab right now, not the other ones.
Right. What tab is it showing right now? Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm still on the create page. So like I said, so super. This is actually much simpler than I'm making it seem. The create page, you're just uploading a logo, uploading a banner image. You're entering your slug, which for me, obviously, Monerotopia, very straightforward. I already created a Monero Talk one. Your primary receiver address, your secret view key. And then here is what Saeed was talking about. This is where you would enter your Twitch channel. If you have a Twitch channel, you'd enter that.
Exactly.
And then here's where you can add tiers for tipping, right? So if you wanted to say, hey, anytime somebody posts a comment, whatever, comments,
basically
comment,
like
to read, let's say,
right now the names are hidden. It's just the amount. Whenever the viewer is tipping, they can just choose any amount or just enter their own value. But tiers just make it easier for them. Just click it, and instead of typing the number in, you can just create your own tiers. So they don't
right, but the way I'm thinking, right? So I have a tier like to I'm not naming them well, but like to view a comment, right? So anytime you send 50 cents with your comment, I'm saying I'll view it. Anytime you send $1 with your comment, I'm saying I'll read your comment live, right?
Basically, like the name field right now on the tiers is basically not appropriately being used. We had other plans for the name, but right now, if you finish this and go to the tipping page, you would see that the tiers are just the pre-made numbers for the tipper, for the donor, so that instead of typing the 50 cents, they just click it and it populates the input. After we create, in the next section, we can just check that out.
All right, so let me do this. So I'm actually gonna log out for a second. I'm gonna log in now with the account that I already created. So I'm not gonna take us through that because I don't want to start adding XMR addresses and stuff. So I already have an account. So I'm gonna go to streamer login. I have an account created for Monero Talk that I've already created. I'm gonna log in. Boom, there it is, right? So here's my account that I just created right before this show. Here's the icon I've added. Here's the banner I added. And I've already received my first 2 tips. First one was from Fiat Demise, obviously. 1 small sentence for man, 1 giant leap for free speech. Very nice. And then Fiat Demise sent me a second one to test the Twitch test message. So let me go back to StreamYard here. So obviously, like, one way to do this, and kind of we were saying kind of the workaround way would be as somebody is streaming they can just be looking at the XMR chat page, right? View page, and they'll see the tips coming in, right? But the more ideal way is, in addition to me being able to see the tips coming in as you guys are sending it, would be for me to be able to now post the comment live on the stream. So I don't know, Saeed, are we able to do that with the Twitch? I do have Twitch integrated into StreamYard. I am connected. It is live. I did connect it to this Monero Talk account that I just created. How would I now show that?
It is actually like supposed to work, basically, I would say. But just before the show, you see the test Twitch message. I think it didn't come up. I think it was because of the Twitch authentication. That's kind of weird. It sometimes expires our token, but yeah, it might not work, but it's supposed to. So it just sends a message in your Twitch account using XMRChat account. But I suppose it's supposed to work. I think so.
Oh wait, here it is. It worked. Oh wait,
it is.
Shortwave. Leave it to shortwave. Always pulling through. Shortwave.
Great. Perfect.
So it pops up in the StreamYard as coming from XMRChat, and it's coming via Twitch. Shortwave says he tipped 50 cents. Great work, guys. So there we go. Amazing.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's actually live.
We need the clap sound.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is amazing. I mean, when Fiat Demise and I originally talked about this, we were talking about, all right, well, we'll just, show the tip screen like I'm showing right now for everybody to see. And then I'll just mention the tweet, the comments. But you've effectively figured out how to tie it into StreamYard using Twitch, which is beautiful. So now anybody that sends a XMR chat comment with the tip, it will pop up in StreamYard behind the scenes. I'll see all the comments as I do any other comment that comes up. And then I can add it to the stream. We got another one. Boom. Oh, this was from Tux. Tux tipped the $1. Buying more Monero. All right, Tux.
Cool. Glad it worked.
This is awesome, man. So Tux, on your end, what was it like? What did you have to do on your end to send the tip?
Just went to your page, xmrchat.com/MoneroTalk. Put in name, message, tip amount, continue, and then it gives you a QR code, and you send that. And then I sent it with Cake Wallet, and that was it.
This is amazing, guys. So we are officially up and running. Tux, if you want to just drop the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes, for everybody to see and fully understand and to tip if they like. Obviously, no pressure on the tipping, but we want this tool to be yet another use case for Monero for all the reasons I'm saying, right? If people are going to be doing super chats, they might as well use Monero to do it. And maybe this becomes something that starts to bump up the daily Monero transaction count, right? Imagine we get some large streamers on here, right? So this is what Fiat Demise and I have been dreaming about from day one. He's a big vision guy as well. He sees the great potential in this. I mean, imagine we have Timcast, right? Or whoever it is, some liberty-minded streamers that are out there with thousands, hundreds of thousands of viewers. And now they've decided to implement XMRchat.com. As you guys can see how easy it is for them to create an account. It'd be a tremendous boon for XMR daily transaction counts. I mean, if Timcast is using XMRchat.com to receive Monero-based super chats, we're gonna see an uptick in Monero usage for sure. Now, obviously, I'm not saying he's going to start using this tomorrow, but it's up to us as a community to get the word out, right? So we could start with some of the smaller streamers and podcasters, such as myself, right? Some of those that are already into Monero that would really get it. So anybody that's listening that is a Monero user, obviously you're all Monero users, I assume, if you're listening, but if you have a podcast or you stream or anything, create an account, start using it. Free to use. for now, free to create one, and no fees taken. And we will slowly try to get the word out to some larger streamers and start getting them to use this. What they're going to be most encouraged by isn't the fact that they want to spread Monero, right? They're probably not idealists like us in that regard, but they're just going to want to, out of their own need and greed, they're going to want to keep all the tips they get. They don't want to give away whatever 20% of their tips to some corporation or bank or some middleman. So no middleman with XMRchat.com. You get the tips directly in your wallet. Let me see now. I'm going to open up my wallet. I haven't even checked that. So like I said, I created a new wallet just for this. Let's see. It's got a sync. Give it a second because I have really bad internet over here, guys. Guys, I'm so excited by this that I've actually stopped eating my homemade Sicilian pasta and sausage. That's how excited I am by this. All right, it's loading, but let's see. Once it loads, we'll see if the tips are in fact there. Give it a sec.
All
right, man. Saeed, what?
Yeah, you can also go to your view page in the drop down on the top right corner. If you click on, I think it's called a view tip page. If you click on that, it will take you to the page that the viewers basically see when they are tipping you. It's the same thing that it has been posted in the chat. Basically, that's the same thing.
Page where I see the tips coming in and I see the comments. This is the page that I would want to show the audience if I were going to show them. And you're saying I can now go to my tip page. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same page that the donors see.
Right. Okay. So this is my tip page. So right, this is from the viewpoint of the viewers, of the tippers. This is the page that they see. So this is actually xmrchat.com/MoneroTalk with the Monero Talk slug. This is the page that you guys can go to, and you'll here's so we can see the recent tips coming in on the side.
You just got the new one.
John McAfee tips, the only currency that is actually used. All right, wait, let's go to let me go back on StreamYard. We'll see it pop up. Boom, there it is. This is huge, guys. I don't know. This feels like a moment. This feels like another moment in Monero. We had a moment last weekend when I bought groceries directly in Astoria, Queens, New York with Monero. This feels like a big moment as well. Super exciting. Great job, man. Saeed, great work. Great work.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to the team as well. Yeah, thanks all. I actually wasn't the main thing here, but yeah, but since Fiat Dimas couldn't make it, I just was here to just basically talk from their end. But basically, like, I was just being told what to do. Like, they were the main guy in here. So yeah, big thanks to them as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can't show my wallet only because it's not loading. This is not an XMRchat issue. This is just a Doug shitty internet issue right now. So maybe if I turn my Wi-Fi off here and I just used, let's say, blocks are slowly loading. Reconnect the Wi-Fi. All right, yeah, this is fantastic. So obviously, I'll be using this every show. I will be using XMRchat.com every show, and asking our viewers to send tips to XMRchat.com/MoneroTalk, or probably like I said, I'll create a separate one for Monerotopia, and so you guys will be able to send any super chat tips our way through that. And more importantly, start using yourselves, test it out, create an account for yourself if you're a streamer, and just get the word out on it. Let's see if we get some podcasters recognizing the utility in this, starting to use it. Show a message on the screen, or will it work with YouTube or viewer? You don't need to be running Twitch. You just go to xmrchat.com/ whatever the slug page is, right? So in this case, it's /Monerotalk, and you just send the tip. You're not messing around with Twitch or anything. You're not even creating an account. It's super easy to send a tip from the viewpoint of the viewer, right? There's really not much anything. You're just going to the website. You're just going to the URL, xmrchat.com/Monerotalk. You're entering in your name, you're entering in the tip amount, and then you're entering your message and hitting continue. I guess I'd do one right now. It's just my wallet isn't working on my side. That's the only reason I'm not doing it. Tux, do you want to do it on your end? You mind sending another small tip and bringing it up from the viewpoint of the viewer?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, and just so people can see. So, Tux doesn't need to mess around with Twitch, but from the viewpoint, from the users, the streamer side, I have a Twitch account. I already had one for purposes of streaming, and I guess a lot of streamers already do, right? Because when you stream, and we use StreamYard, I think most people are using StreamYard these days. It's super simple, and then with StreamYard, it's very easy to add multiple different streaming services. So right now, when we're using StreamYard, we're streaming on X, we're streaming on Facebook, which I don't know, like we always get like one guy to like it whenever he might even like it right now. If that one guy is out there on Facebook, he usually sends a like whenever I mention it. We're streaming on YouTube. We're usually streaming on Instagram, but for some reason it wasn't working today, right, Tux? And then we're also streaming on Twitch. It's all automatic. All those accounts are already connected to my StreamYard, and it's as simple as that. So any streamer that wants to start using xmrchat.com to receive Monero tips directly would just have to create a Twitch account and connect it to their StreamYard. It's really not any more complicated than that.
All right, guys, and if you want to send a tip, you just go to xmrchat.com/Monerotalk. You put in, could be anything, could be any name, in tip amount and the message, and then you just go ahead and continue, and it gives you the QR code, which you can just scan with any Monero wallet. I'll be using Cake Wallet. And I'll go ahead and scan this. Actually, I'm going to connect to my local node real quick.
I'm sorry. In the meantime, I actually wanted to answer Onan in the chat, if it's possible, please.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually trying to ask if it is possible, like how it is connected to Twitch. It's basically the way it works. There is XMR_chat account that we have created as, like, you can see it as a bot. And
yeah, it's just a bot that you created for Twitch, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that was the first idea. But we were trying to make it be integratable into the OBS as well. So I see many streamers use that, or even Rumble that they have mentioned. We can actually use their API to send in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and actually send.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we can see how quickly it goes through. It should be pretty fast. All right, sending. And tap send. All right, I just sent the tip, and there we go. That was how fast it received it. Took like less than half a second there. And there you go. You can see Donald Trump tipped $1.
Yeah, he's not using, Tux isn't using Venmo. He's not using Nano, right? He's using Monero, and it's happening on chain, but using LWS. Like, I think, that's one of the things that gets thrown at Monero. Like, yeah, Monero is great. It's private by default, but it's unusable because it's so slow. I mean, you
don't necessarily need one conf, right? I mean, for something like this, where it's like really small tip stuff, like that's totally okay. You don't need even a single conf, right? It could show up as soon as it can see the transaction in the mempool, and as you can see, it's very, very, very fast. Less than half a second after I tapped send, it actually confirmed. Not confirmed on chain, but confirmed that I had sent the transaction to that address, which is very cool. So it actually works very well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, this is one of the obviously the use cases that people were most excited about with the advent of crypto was microtransactions, right? Being able to do things like this. And I feel like Monero has been discounted for those purposes, and we're proving otherwise, right? So not only is Monero the best form of digital cash for sending things default privately, but it's actually functioning for microtransaction purposes. And as we all know, fees are super low on Monero, and they'll forever will be super cheap given dynamic block sizes.
And now with Monero, you can't have some big drug lord who sends you a nice fat tip, but then taints your entire wallet, because that's just not a thing that's possible in Monero. And I like the way that you guys have set up this one. Obviously, this isn't the most ideal way to do super chats, but I like how you've kind of worked around the limitations of StreamYard and done this clever way of using a Twitch bot to send comments to the Twitch stream, chat stream, which we can then manually pull up on stream by clicking on the comment. So that's pretty clever. Obviously,
yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's a lot more slick than I ever imagined we'd be able to get it to at this point. Like, I'm not really seeing what else I would want or need it to do. Like, what do you like, right? I mean, as we traditionally use StreamYard, we have the comments come up in the comment feed.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the best way to do it with StreamYard. I mean, traditionally, like for OBS, you'd have like a dedicated, an overlaid browser window that will actually show the comments automatically. But obviously can't do that with StreamYard, right? And a lot of people use StreamYard. A lot of people don't even use OBS anymore. So this is a great tool for people who do use StreamYard, and it's super easy, simple to set up. And all you have to do is just pull the comments up once you see them. And you could even star the comments and keep them in like a starred area and read them later if you want to at the end of the show or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's slick, and it works pretty well. So great job to both you, Saeed, and Fiat Demise for working on this project. It's cool to see you.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Tux, you were there from the beginning, right? When we were talking about it. It's been, I think it's been like 6 months now, or maybe even more.
Yeah, I do remember this being talked about briefly a while ago.
We're working on this project, and we're going to launch it soon. And you're like, all right. And sure enough, they freaking figured it out.
Now, funny enough, actually, the timing's like super weird, but I actually happened to just stumble into a super chatter like software, like service, right? That actually lets you use Monero like last week. However, it does use the traditional way, the OBS way of providing the super chat information on stream itself. It gives you a page which you could read off manually, but it uses that the traditional OBS way of having the browser overlay to show the comments on the stream itself. So it works a little bit differently. Right. But that was funny to see, because I had no idea there was a service that existed already that lets you super chat using Monero. And it's not exclusively Monero, but
right. But OBS is kind of a pain in the ass. I know it's great. There's a lot of things you can do with it, but
you have to know how to set it up properly, and it can take a lot to set up depending on what you want to do. So it's not the most simple and easiest or fastest way to get started for podcasting, which is why a lot of people opt in for something like StreamYard.
Yeah, I think a lot of big names, we'll find a lot of big names that are using StreamYard, I think StreamYard's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, I've been surprised. I mean, you can kind of tell by looking at the stream layout if they're using StreamYard or not, and it'll surprise you sometimes, like, oh wow, this person's using StreamYard.
So Saeed, you're saying that we could integrate with Rumble and things like that's conceivable?
Yeah, that's exactly it was a plan, but we actually wanted to do the safest way and basically the most straightforward one. The best one was since all streamers would probably not all, most of them were familiar with OBS. We were actually trying to get that in place, but we noticed something StreamYard doesn't let us do that. So we decided to just make a chat bot so that it sends and the streamer just can handle the message in anywhere it wants. But right now, if someone doesn't have Twitch for any reason that whatsoever, they basically will have to leave this field empty and they won't see any messages. But if we maybe integrate into more platforms or even get the OBS screen going, I think it will open up the page for like open the environment for more streamers that have some limitations on Twitch basically or any other platform.
Yeah, if you guys ever get the
Right.
the OBS overlay working, I'll definitely test that out myself. I have experience with OBS, so I can use it and stuff.
Sure. It actually would be like a separate page. I can say it more than me. It would be basically like the page that shows the chat live. You would have to overlay the URL on the stream basically. That's the plan. That's the initial plan. Yeah, but we would have to work out the styling, and if we need to add some animations to it, like if the tip is more, we just show it differently, or if it's less, we just, I don't know. We can just figure them out. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what is he saying? Victor is saying, wouldn't it be better if the notification message said name donates $1 in Monero? It is. I don't know. Oh, instead of saying in USD, saying in Monero or something. You guys understand what Victor's saying?
Maybe having
Actually,
okay, saying,
we actually like
he's saying
had
denominated
the idea. I think that's the wording. Just how to it says name donates, but we say like name tipped something. But
saying that it tips specifically in Monero, right? Like it's $1, but in Monero. It would be kind of cool if you had an option to use the actual Monero amount instead.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Yeah, we could add that, right? Let the user decide if they want to be denominated in dollars or Monero.
Yeah, to be fair, it was initially like in Monero, but we decided because since it's easier to do like how much Monero is how many USD. That's why we actually it's overload for us to convert it to USD. But the default value for us is in Monero. So we were actually trying to allow a streamer to add some template for their message, so they can basically show it however they want, not just like you say name tip. They can just input anything they want and just customize the message themselves. But for the sake of like speed and just making it work, we just put something static in there.
Yeah. These are details that will work out, but right now it's freaking awesome. That is a good point, Victor. Though I like that. Changed,
but it's a good start to see that it works, and it works very easily, and it's quick, and it's nice to be able to tip people.
I'm utterly impressed here, man. I know we've been working on this for a long time. I've been talking to Fiat. When he said that you guys figured out how to actually have it tip live on StreamYard, where I'd be able to show the tip. I'll be honest with you, it sounded a little too good to be true. I didn't think it actually worked. I was like, okay, are we talking about the same thing? And sure enough, you figured it out. So kudos to you. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. What was the other thing? Oh, so I'm just looking back at the viewer screen. Where do the tip levels come in? What are we calling that?
The tiers, you mean?
Well,
actually, if
tiers, right?
Yeah, if you go to your edit page and add some tiers below the enter tip amount input, it would show like $50, $1, or $3, or whatever tip tier you put in there. But it's just the amount. Once you click on them, it just populates the tip amount input right for now. That's how tiers work basically. The name is just a convention we just put there, but we haven't really get that in use. The main thing is the amount.
I put amounts in. Let me see. So I'm going to go to. So I'll go to
you
my
can go
tip
to your
page.
edit page.
In
the edit page.
My edit page. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. You can even change if you want to change anything.
Okay, here, hold on. Let me
see. You don't have any tiers right now. But yeah.
Okay. Am I streaming right now? Okay, yeah. Edit page. So I'll add a tier. So like I said, is it the way I thought of this would be like, so if you tip 20, let's say 25 cents, I'm going to guarantee that I will read your comment, right? That make sense?
Right now, Unfortunately, right now, no. It's just the amount. Actually, if you put any of them and save it, if you go back to your viewer page, you would see how it works. But right now, we are not counting on the name. Yeah, you can just see it for yourself. It's easier than explaining.
Okay. Whatever, just for my own. Whatever.
Yeah.
So they both go. Oh, so that's 50 cents. Continue. All right. So I added both.
Yeah, you can go to your viewer page right now, the page that the viewers see, basically. My tip page, basically, the first one.
Yeah. Okay, my tip page. Okay. All right. So it's just showing. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
it's literally just showing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just populist input for now, but we can actually even work around this to just, I don't know.
It'd be cool if it had an action associated with it, right? So it's saying like, if you tip 25 cents, they'll do this. If you tip at least 50 cents, they'll do that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool, man. I think this is it for now. Well, obviously we're going to continue to talk about this every show because I'll continue to use it. So during every show, I'll announce in the beginning, hey guys, go to xmrchat.com/Monerotopia, just to get people used to using it. And I think this should kind of be the default. Even if you send super small tips, guys, it could be kind of like 1 or 2 cents, just so we start doing it, right? Start doing it. That's it. Saeed, anything else you want to say or mention that you think we should cover?
Actually, we're fine. By the way, this is open source. It's on GitHub. Anyone can check it out. But it's not perfectly synced with the current update, but we are working on that to just bring it to whatever the website is right now and sync it with GitHub as well. So anyone, if anyone wants to contribute or anything, if someone wants to add, they can just pull up a PR or anything like that. Yeah.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Sure. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Saeed. Maybe we'll have you on again sometime soon. We could talk about any other updates. Obviously, we have a large vision with this. Fiat Demise and I have spoken about some things. Saeed, I'm sure you have some ideas too. But there's a lot of things I think we can do with this basic functionality, and maybe perhaps grow it into even more use cases beyond just streaming. Because effectively what you're doing here is you're tipping for purposes of getting somebody's attention to send them a message, right? And it's not a new idea. We've seen different variations of this idea, but it's a new utility for Monero itself. And like, well, not to repeat myself too much, but Monero, I do think, is the best tool for this purpose because of its privacy and cheap transactions, and the fact that now you can do things in a censorship resistant way, right? So you might be some streamer somewhere who was using some popular super chat thing tool, and they cut you off because they didn't like what you were saying, right? They had to cut you off because they're the banks that they deal with put pressure on them and said, shut this streamer down. We don't want them receiving money through your super chat tool.
The most common culprit being PayPal, as that's the most common way people use to donate and use super chats and stuff, is PayPal. And PayPal's notorious for just shutting people down for really any reason or no reason at all.
I think you got a new tip here from Trump. It just popped up on the screen. I can see the comment.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Trump 50%. Politicians need not led, but Amish. What? I'm not sure if I understand what he's saying there. Need not led, but Amish WCs. I don't know. Tux, can you interpret that? You know what he's saying there?
I could not tell
lie,
you.
Maybe need not lie. I'm sorry, Tramp Tip. Not exactly sure what you're saying there, but I think it has something to do with the fact that it's censorship resistant, which is tremendous amount of utility, right? So you have a lot of people out there talking these days, using the internet to spread information. And there's always this concern that they'll be censored. Well, now you can't censor their revenue stream, which is tremendous, right? Shutting down their voice obviously is a grand form of censorship, but also shutting down their ability to make money off of spreading their message. So this will allow perhaps controversial streamers to have a revenue stream and not be shut down.
And it's open source, so I'm guessing that means you could self-host it yourself. And if something happens to like the main instance of it, then I guess you could set it up on your own server, set it up on a VPS or something, and everyone could be running their own copy of this if they want to, if I understand that correctly.
Yes, that's the case.
It's awesome. That's great. That's great. And how are you guys? And you guys aren't really necessarily being funded through this at all, because you guys don't take a cut at all of the tips. It goes directly to the streamer. So does XMRChat specifically have a donation chat? I know this is probably going through Monerotopia, so I guess that would be telling people to donate to Monerotopia or Monerotalk, right? Funding the development.
Yeah, if they want to help put up the project, I could have Fiat Demise come up with we could come up with the donation address for that. I'm happy to say any tips that are made through this when I'm using it, I will put towards the project.
Awesome.
So yeah, we could look at it that way. So yeah, any tips made whenever we're streaming and we're using the tool, I will put that revenue towards the project. But yeah, we are considering other potential revenue streams, right? So we want to always keep the tipping itself free and not add any fees there. But we're thinking about other potential revenue, like added features, right? Just like with XMR Bazaar. So we're thinking there could be some added features, paid for features that people like that people that are power users would want to pay for, things like that. So
awesome.
We'll roll those things out as we go down the road. But right now, yeah, and forever, I would say the tipping itself functionality will be free to tippers. There won't be any added fee.
Actually, the functionality of tipping is done in a way that if you check the address that the tipper receives in order to make the payment, it's actually the address of the streamer, but with the payment ID. So it's directly to their wallet. It's not even going inside XMRChat wallet and then going to streamer.
Exactly.
It's just directly to the wallet of the streamer itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of the things Fiat Demise and I were talking about was perhaps maybe eventually we would say, to continue using this service for whatever you're gonna have to send us $1 a month, right? Something like that. Whatever, we're not knowing what the numbers are or whatever. But so you'll never get charged without getting any tips. But we may, and it's not like we're going to spring this on people, but we're thinking this could be a way, right? So everybody, the tipping, as Saeed's saying, all tips will be free. They're going to go straight to the streamer's wallet. But eventually, we might say that you have to pay to keep your account going, right? So it might be like if you don't want to shut down this account, you'd have to create a new one. It'd be like, I don't know, $1 a month or something, or we'll come up with something, which I think would be very reasonable, especially if streamers are actually making money off this, right? If they're making tens, hundreds of dollars a month off of this, and they're accustomed to losing 20%, and now we're just saying, send us $1 or $2, not a percentage of your tips, but just like a nominal fee for the service. We think users would probably be okay with that. I don't know. What do you think, guys? What's your thoughts on that? Tux, what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, maybe. I could see maybe issues arising with trying to basically sell a service for Monero.
What do you mean sell a service for Monero?
You were suggesting what, like $1 a month for people to keep their accounts or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it becomes sort of like a business, right?
Well, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with businesses. I mean, we're trying to live in we're very pro capitalism, right? We want this to be
No, I didn't say there's anything wrong with the business. I'm just
yeah.
talking about from a legal standpoint, right?
Oh,
You have
legal
extra
standpoint.
stuff you have to deal with if you're going to be selling a service.
Yeah. Well, you mean like that we have to be concerned that we're now responsible for people receiving tips or something?
No, not necessarily, but it's something you have to keep like track of, right? Like you have to, I don't know, it's just you're selling something, right? You're selling something, so now it's becomes a business, at least in the United States.
Oh yeah. No, it would be a business. Yeah. No, we'd be fine with that, right? Like, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we're against it becoming a legitimate business, right? If this becomes large and we have large streamers using this, and why not collect $1 or $2 per month from the users to keep it going and growing, right? But yeah, we'll figure that out as things go.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's move into the news. Thanks, Saeed, for coming on.
Saeed, awesome, man. Great job.
Thanks for having me. Thank you all.
Man, making money is the goal. Exactly. Like, right. So, none of this stuff is going to last if we're all doing it here for charity. We need to make sustainable businesses, right? Like Cake Wallet, right? I mean, Cake Wallet, that's one of the great things about Vic is that he's figured out how to make a business that has revenue, and that's allowed him to do amazing things, continue to grow it. Obviously, he's put a lot of, his own investment and seed money into it, but he has revenue streams. He has, significant revenue streams. So it's important that we come up with ideas and platforms that actually make money. Otherwise, these things won't last. All right. Let's do the news. Take it away, Tux.
The Monerotopia Weekly News segment is sponsored by WizardSwap.io, a non-custodial cryptocurrency exchange.
Tony.
Hey guys, happy weekend.
Tony, what's up, man?
Good. I've heard you're in Sicily right now.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Fantastic.
Is it your first time
Actually,
in Italy?
No, I've been to Italy. I've been to Italy before. It's my first time in Sicily.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The food must be fantastic.
Yeah, the food is amazing. The wine is I don't drink a lot of wine these days, but when in Rome, I mean, it's like you can't not. Can't not drink that. I'm about to start smoking cigarettes just from like watching everybody smoke the cigarettes. It's like they really know how to live life. I'm drinking. Actually, I just finished it, but I've been drinking water from a natural spring. They call it like Mount Etna water. So there's natural springs here that run under essentially the volcano. So it's like volcanic water, naturally filtered. Right, it's got a lot of minerals and stuff.
So straight from the sink, or do you have to go somewhere to get it?
The place where I'm at has like tapped into the spring, so they have like a little yeah. It's good. It's good.
That was beautiful. I mean, who knows? Monerotopia 2025 by the volcano.
I don't know. I thought we were thinking Romania, though, man. I don't know. We got Romania. We got a lot of things on the list. Yeah,
I know, but it's kind of crazy because. Remember when we were planning about to do it in Romania, I emailed the like a bunch of people and nobody replied to me. Like nobody was really interested. They kept saying that they already have activities in the center of the city and blah blah. And I emailed the city hall, everybody, and nobody was interested, unfortunately. Yeah.
I have to comment, Tony. I see that you recently have switched to using Linux for your news machine.
Yeah, so no, like I've actually been dual booting. I mean, I usually use Linux. I'm using Monero, which I may switch because it's just giving me too much headache right now. May use something else. But on Windows, I've been using Windows because the audio was good in Windows. Now I switched to Linux, and last time I had all the issues with the audio. So should be good today. I don't think I have any videos, maybe one, but yeah, I like Linux, just like using the terminal, and it's just nice. Yeah, so let's get into the news section, guys. Actually, the first thing that I want to mention is So if you go to monerotopia.com, go to buy ticket. I will suggest that you get the VIP ticket because it's worth it. You get to go to the dinner with the speakers. Then you go add cart. Okay. Then you go view cart. Now, so before you proceed to checkout, so if you go to coupon code, it's that time again, you put Tony24, you apply the coupon, and boom, you're going to get a nice discount to your ticket, $24.90. So
Nice.
make sure to use
That's a big
Tony24.
discount. No,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good
fantastic.
discount. Yeah, guys,
Yeah,
so make sure you purchase your
10% off.
tickets. So, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. No, thank you, Tony, for, I was stressing in the beginning of the show. I mean, the conference is really coming along, but the most important thing for us right now is actually selling tickets. So greatly appreciate you guys taking action. And go ahead, please use the Tony to get 10% off.
Yeah, I haven't been using Twitter for a long time, but I think I'll be active just to show the conference and to post more about it. It's actually like, it's an amazing conference. Just the fact that you can talk to the speakers, like they hang out next to you. Like I remember how iconic it was at the first Monerotopia. Like Arctic Mind was behind me, just casually listening to other people talk. Seth for privacy, I talked to him for a little bit, and I used to follow him on Twitter for quite some time, so that was amazing. Talked to Rachel for a little bit. So it's just like you hang out with all these people. It's not like one of the big conferences that are really expensive, and then they're on the stage. And it's cool, you get to hear them talk live, whatever, and then they go behind the stage and that's it. And you just hang out with the other people, which is still really nice. But the fact that it's it really feels like a community because you get to talk to everybody, ask them questions, hang out, drink beer with them and whatever. So it's a really good time. So, as we discussed, we encourage you to buy the VIP tickets. It's, you get to go to dinner with the speakers, and a lot of other stuff, but you can get the general admission, or if you're a local, you can get this one. So we can make it work for you. But same venue as last year, and it's just gonna be better. I'm actually kind of happy that we're doing the same venue as last year because it's just easier to build up on it. And I've heard, I wasn't there unfortunately, but I've heard that it was really nice with the vendors and everything. So guys, make sure
the venue is beautiful. Venue is really nice.
It's really beautiful. So let's get into the news section now. The first thing, this is really big. So you can actually get now Zero-kyc XMR to cash in Australia. So previously it was the USA, UK, Europe, Middle East, and now the new addition in Australia. Specifically, you can now access our service in Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth, said Tommy from All Arc. So you meet up at a specified location, get the cash, and that's it. No KYC, nothing. So that's amazing. So we pretty much have, the whole world almost covered, which is nice. Then, so I want to discuss a little bit, actually, not yet. This one is the Haveno Reto trades today. As you can see, Monero is trading at a large premium on this non-KYC peer-to-peer exchange. XMR Radar wrote, buy some Monero before it's too late. Then we have the picture.
Wait, Tony, you got to read the super chats. Anybody that super chats, we got to read it. So, short rates surfer.
Yeah, actually, let me get this out on the side. Give me 1 second.
Shortwave is saying he tipped 15 cents. He's saying I've really enjoyed Linux Mint Debian edition. So there you go.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm getting the super chat right now.
Well, you could just see it. I'll just post them as you see it. You should be able to see it now. It's up on the screen.
Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, I've really enjoyed Linux Mint Debian. Yeah, I've actually never used Mint shortwave surfer. I've used Ubuntu and Monero. I'll take a look into Mint. I was looking into it. Thank you, man. Appreciate the tip. Now let's go. Yeah, so this is a report from Coincards, the breakdown of usage by dollar volume. Bitcoin sitting at 28%. Then we have XMR at 23%. USDC 19. Nobody is really using. I mean, like network 2.4%. That's pretty high actually. Usually it was like 1%, I think. Yeah, so like usual, Monero and Bitcoin are battling. But actually, wait, well, let's click on this one.
I will say the discrepancy is lower and lower as it goes on.
Yes,
like
yeah.
the difference between the Monero and Bitcoin usage.
But on most platforms, actually, Monero is trumping.
It is, yeah. It is.
Like on a large margin. So, yeah. Which actually ties into what I'm going to talk about right now. So this is more price segment, but I'll relate it to Monero. It's going to make sense. So $2.9 trillion wiped out from stocks this morning due to fears of a global recession. That was on August 2nd, Friday. So everything is in the red. All the stocks, everything.
It's the worst day since 2020 COVID crash. I need a Bawdy fact check on that because I don't believe that. But
I've heard, like, the reason why I didn't read this actually is because I've heard all kinds of numbers and all kinds of dates.
Yeah, I think that's over sensationalized.
Yeah, because I've heard, like, it's, I don't know. And plus I've heard lower numbers. Like, I'm not really sure about this number specifically, 2.9 trillion. I've heard 1.2 trillion before, and this hasn't been that bad since 2010. I've heard all kinds of stuff, so I'm not going to mention too much about this. It's more of a Bawdy. But yeah, so then we've heard about Berkshire's cash pile hits a record. They sold 50% of Apple. They sold a lot of stocks, and they're just holding cash. So Buffett is just holding a lot of cash, selling stocks. Then, okay, so somebody posted on Twitter, Bitcoin is just being dragged down temporarily by TradFi markets, amplified because of increased surface area due to ETFs. But with M2 on the rise again, it feels like the main event is almost here. And we have a chart, everything is on the red. Paul Yanovitz wrote, all those Bitcoin maxi statements feel like, keep up the Ponzi. Guys, it's not about the fucking price. It's about adoption and replacing fiat, and not looking for the bigger fool who will buy my packs higher than me. Monero has been the only green coin in market cap 100 while all others crashed. And we have a chart, and then I'll relate it to Monero. So this is Bitcoin, and I know some people are listening on Twitter, so I'll be more verbal. But so we have the Bitcoin chart is red, Ethereum. So it's a bunch of cryptos that are in the red, and there's one small little box which is green, which is Monero. So my point is that when the market is trending on the downside, usually people go to things like gold and things that tend to hold up their value. So don't count me on this, but I've heard that gold went up as well in the meantime because people are scared of a possible recession, so they're going to gold. But because Monero, we don't base ourselves on the price, and we base ourselves on fundamentals and actually using it as a currency, it's actually in the green. And even if it wasn't in the red, it's still one of those currencies that hold up the value, and it's been holding its value really, really well, just because it's actually used as a currency. And when it's used as a currency, then you don't have to be so scared holding it, because it's not just based off of speculation and price like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not, as most of us know, it's not feasible as a currency. It's actually used for purchasing day-to-day objects. So yeah, again, just kind of proving that Monero is built to actually be usable as a currency. Then actually I want to bring this up before we get into something else. So I've seen this from the European Central Bank. And the reason why we talked about the digital euro and how they say it's private and it's going to be private, but I wanted to bring this one specifically because they said that the digital euro will be truly private. So this is an article from the ecb.europa.eu, and it says, many people appreciate privacy when paying and want their data protected. And this is what I want to mention, is current electronic means of payment are not optimal in this regard. And then they said, we're designing the digital euro to be the most private electronic payment option. And yeah, so we're going to go over this now. But as you read it, it sounds really, really good. Like, it sounds like they actually care, and it's actually going to be private. But there's going to be some backdoor. There's for sure going to be some backdoor. So They talked about what the digital euro is. It's a central bank digital currency meant to be complement cash as a day-to-day means of payment. So you can use it between shops, online, between individuals. And then I mentioned how you can really purchase stuff online through cash, which actually what I like about Romania is that you can actually purchase stuff online using cash, and you can just pay when they ship the product to you. So you have the delivery guy, and then you give them cash, and that's it. And that's how I make my payments when I'm in Romania. Actually, I don't use my card. I just use cash, which is nice. Yeah, and then they talked about using a digital euro offline close to cash. So say you're having dinner with your friend. So essentially, they're saying is that you can transfer money only between the two of you, or how many friends you're with, offline, and just the two of you will know about that transaction. And well, I mean, in that case, I wonder what they will do if we all make private transactions between ourselves. So if all the transactions are just essentially, I guess, offline, that's cool and nice. But I think there is a backdoor for sure to this, that there's going to be. Then, I mean, they just advertise themselves how the digital euro is going to be more private than commercial solutions and ones. And they're saying how the digital euro identity will be separate from your payment data, so that the euro system will process a very limited amount of data. Your bank will pseudonymize your data, which means that your name is not visible to the euro system and is replaced by a random. It's nice, but is it actually going to be like that? Is there going to be a backdoor? And I can just imagine myself working in cybersecurity for them, or IT, or as a programmer, and programming this thing. And they're like, yeah, just make sure you make a function so that we have a backdoor in this thing, because there's no way that it's just going to be. Or what they may do is that they're going to signal, hey, you can only do small amounts private, like truly offline, like say $50. It's truly offline, just between you and somebody else, and that's it. But if it's over 100 or whatever, then they said they're not going to, but I really do see it. The asset sheet on which you detail your assets, your car, houses, watches. If you have a Rolex, paintings, you have a Picasso, whatever in your house, you gotta put that in as well. I think that's gonna happen eventually too. So that they keep track of everything in the name of you not money laundering and paying taxes and all those stuff. Yeah, so we'll see how this is gonna play out. But I do think that there's gonna be restrictions when it comes to your offline payments, and there is gonna be a backdoor eventually. Yeah, but I guess the way to revolt would be to, okay, so you're giving us offline payments that are truly private, then we're just going to make those transactions with everybody. And if there's a signal that they know more information than they should, then that's not good. And I think it's going to happen. Now, I think, yeah, let's discuss about this. So this one is interesting. So we have the U.S. Department of State declaring Edmundo González Urrutia winner of Venezuela's election over Nicolas Maduro.
Got a super chat. AKA Anon tipped $10.09. Congrats to Shortwave. I will purchase your general admission ticket to Monerotopia using the Tony discount. Thank you for your service to the Monero community.
Congrats to Shortwave. I'll purchase your general admission ticket to Monerotopia using the Tony discount. Oh, thank you, AK Anon. Thank you. Thank you for your service to the Monero community. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Also, make sure to like, share, spread the message. It really helps us a lot. So, but we really appreciate you guys tuning up every Sunday.
Super big thank you. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. This basically, this paper talks about how 12 million Venezuelans peacefully went to the polls They were, they exercise one of the most powerful rights given to people in any democracy, the right to vote. And essentially, they just Venezuela didn't care, and they just said, "Yeah, Nicolas Maduro again. He's going to be the winner," and it was rightfully so. But I guess that they showed that actually more than 80% of the tally sheets were directly for Edmundo González Urrutia. And now the U.S. Department of State, which is the thing that's interesting, is that they declared Edmundo to be the actual president and not Maduro. And now my question is, why, since when is the U.S. involved in other countries' elections? And also, we have to worry about our own elections as well, and them being actually valid. Because now we have Kamala all of a sudden kind of seeing like... And what's actually interesting, I'm not sure if it's still a thing now. I know I looked up Trump, or just Trump, and actually most of the news were just Kamala. Okay, I guess not anymore. But a couple days ago, I looked up Trump, and most of the searches were, I swear, just Kamala. And you can probably look it up on Reddit. Actually, that's how I've seen it. Somebody mentioned it, and then I decided to try it myself. And most of the news coverages were just Kamala, not like one about Trump. That was really interesting. Then in relation to the Venezuelan elections, Elon Musk actually. Let me know if the audio works. First of all, is it working?
Go ahead and play it.
Okay. Could you hear anything?
No, I can't.
Okay.
You want me to play it on my side? Well, I know how to get it to. So what you got to, or maybe you're not using the same desktop environment I'm using. Yeah, I can pull it up though.
Actually, let me try something else.
If you share your screen, it should give you an option to share the tab instead of the whole screen. If you share the tab itself, it's able to pipe through the audio.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Colin. Yep. Okay, this one. Okay, you guys should be able to see. Let me know if you can hear it now.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So this is this is crazy. So the Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro challenged to fight Elon Musk, to which he said, "I accept," and he also said that he's gonna chicken out. So let's listen to Nicolas aggressively proposing a fight.
Elon Musk, quien se mete conmigo se seca. Quien se mete con Venezuela se seca. Elon Musk. ¿Quieres pelea? Vamos a darle, Elon Musk. Estoy listo. Soy hijo de Bolívar y de Chávez. No te tengo miedo, Elon Musk. Vamos a darlo, pues. Donde quiera. Como decimos en Caracas, en los barrios. Si tú quieres, yo quiero, Elon Musk. Digo.
The thing that I'm mostly concerned of is just the pure anger in his voice. Like he really wants to fight. Yeah, so to that, so basically, I know people are watching on Twitter as well, but basically he said that, okay, Elon Musk, you want to fight? I am the son of a Bolivian. Let's have at it. Let's fight. And in the most angry voice ever, the dictatorial voice ever. So is it going to happen? Musk said that he wants to fight. He accepted the challenge. Last time he was going to fight Zuck, and they were going to fight in the Coliseum, but he pulled out. So are we going to see Nicolas Maduro and Elon Musk in the Coliseum? That's going to be interesting. So we'll see. Is anybody going to chicken out? Are they actually going to fight? We'll see. And then, actually, I do need to. Okay, so this is going to be the last thing that we'll have for the news section for this week. This one is on Tucker Carlson. So he said, until I can move country to country with Bitcoin and not be tracked, until I can exercise that with this currency, it's less meaningful to me. So he's actually looking into Monero. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share this tab specifically. And we'll play this one.
Or what you can do, you can just keep it on the tab sharing, and just every time you switch to a different tab, just click the button at the top.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Thanks. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So let's play. Foxcode wrote on YouTube, Americans are so proud that I'm ashamed to see how they install other countries. Sorry, what my words. Okay, so let's play this video.
Just be totally blunt with you, and I'm sure someone's filming this, but I don't really care. Until I can, I don't know, stage a getaway with Bitcoin. I'm serious. Until I can move from country to country with Bitcoin and not be tracked as I do it, as is my inalienable human right. I have the right of free movement as a human being. I have the right of free will as a human being. That was not granted to me by the government. I was born with that. It was bestowed by God. Until I can exercise that with this currency, it's less meaningful to me. The second I can, it will be something I'd lay my life down for, because it's the key to my freedom.
So I'm
Sounds like we got to get Tucker Carlson using XMRchat.com for his super chats.
That's how. Yeah, I wonder like if he becomes aware of Monero, if he's actually going to talk about Monero. I'm sure he probably knows about Monero.
I think the word's definitely gotten around for sure. This is a rumor I heard. I don't know if it's true, but apparently Tucker Carlson had a party on the roof of the hotel I was staying at in Nashville.
Really?
While I was there, I didn't know if it was actually true. I didn't see him, but somebody told me that. So, but there was a YouTuber the next night actually having a party. So it seemed like it was the spot to be for sure.
Oh, that's nice. You should have, if you knew, you should have shilled them on the Monerotopia. I
definitely got some shilling out. It's you have to do it in a way that's subtle and not outright being, like you're trying to sell them some shit coin, right? Like, oh, buy my ERC20 token, guys. Buy my Solana token. Don't want to sound like one of those.
Yeah, what's your wallet?
Roy saying, Roy saying, guys, Carlson is a CIA asset. I mean, yeah, they've heard those rumors as well. I don't know.
Everybody's a Fed. Trust no one.
So he's controlled opposition is, I guess, the argument.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about him. I know one time he had an interview with Putin, and not that I necessarily endorse Putin or anything, but I think it's interesting. He's very, very educated when he speaks, but he asked Putin about the war in Ukraine, and Putin went from the beginning of time, like he went, from the Vikings all the way to the present, because you need to understand, basically how things formed to understand why the war is happening. And Tucker interrupted him so many times. Why is this necessary? Why can we get to the point? Why blah blah? I'm like, man, let the man speak. Like, it's actually like it makes sense what he's saying. He did start from the beginning, and he took like 40 minutes, 50 minutes to talk about the history of Russia, but the Carlson kid just kept interrupting. And
you got to know the whole story, right? I mean,
yeah.
What politician would ever give an answer like that? It was actually quite. Obviously, Putin is a politician. Don't get me wrong, but it was quite impressive that he took the moment there to school him in some history.
Yeah, like again, Foxcoin said, "I love Russia." Yeah, like again, I'm not like endorsing Putin, but I just think that when he talks about history, whether it's true or not, I mean, he at least he knows the history. Yeah, that was actually a really good interview. But yeah, guys, so this was a new section for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Again, so use code Tony24 to purchase your Monerotopia tickets for this year in November. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Tony, great job.
All right.
All right.
I guess we can do a quick viewers on stage. Not too long. Let's bring time. Yeah, let's keep it shorter because I have to leave soon myself. And I know you want to get back to your pasta and your wonderful Italian vacation with your family.
Exactly. Family time. The familia.